Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be taking you along with me to go wedding dress shopping, which is so special. This is one of the first things I did when it comes to wedding planning, or I guess the very first thing I did, just because you always hear, especially when it comes to a shorter engagement, that buying a wedding dress or getting a wedding dress made or whatever is one of the things that takes the longest. So right after we got engaged, I would say probably like a week or so after we got engaged, I made an appointment for that following Saturday. And so I ended up having my first and really only, I guess, wedding dress shopping day on the Saturday that was exactly 2 weeks after we got engaged. And so before I show some of the footage of going wedding dress shopping, I want to talk you through sort of my approach to the whole day. So I had a pretty clear idea going into wedding dress shopping of what it was I was looking for, but I also knew that I wanted to try on all different kinds of styles, even styles that were completely different than what I thought I wanted, or styles that I was pretty sure I wasn't going to like. I wanted to try them all on. And my reasoning for that is, one, I just felt like this is my only time that I can do that. This is the chance to try all the things. And then two, I also knew that I could be surprised, that sometimes you have an idea of what it is you're looking for in your head, but then you try things on and you end up loving something that's totally different. And so I did have a very clear idea, again, of what I wanted, but I was also very much open to me finding something or deciding on something that was completely different than that. So how I went about picking the bridal salons, basically I had a picture that I had found on Pinterest that was the closest thing I could find to what I was looking for. Still not exactly what I wanted, but the closest thing to it. And so my friend Courtney had looked up the designer of the dress from this picture and then ended up finding a bridal salon in our area that carried that designer. And we looked it up and it was a pretty big bridal salon, so I knew that they would have a lot of options to choose from, and it was nice and cute. And so that's how we ended up picking the first shop that I made an appointment at. And then I decided it would just be fun to sort of make a whole day out of it. And so I ended up looking up other bridal salons in the area. There's a city about 45 minutes from us that I knew had a lot of bridal shops, just from having gone wedding dress shopping with a lot of my friends before. And so I honestly just Googled dress salons in that city and found the first one that came up, and then made an appointment at that for the second one. And then as for inviting people, so I feel like I've heard a lot to not bring too many people wedding dress shopping with you, just because it can be a lot of opinions and it can overwhelm you, and then your own voice or your own opinion gets drowned out in that. But personally, I really like having those opinions. I find it really helpful to have that feedback, and then I also know that at the end of the day, it's ultimately not going to deter me from choosing what I really like. Also, if you watched my last video, you know that I'm having 16 bridesmaids, and so a lot of close friends. And at the point of going wedding dress shopping, I hadn't actually asked any of them to be my bridesmaids yet, just because, again, we had just gotten engaged and I wanted to be able to make that special. But I wanted as many of them as were wanting and able to come to be able to come. And so I wasn't sure what the rules around that were going to be with COVID and everything, but I just asked the two different salons as I was making my appointment. And I think one of them let me bring 5 or 6 people and the other let me bring 11, which I was actually really surprised about. But that definitely did make it easier. And so I kind of just organized it according to who was available for which appointment, and it all ended up working out, thankfully. And then I did also have several people who were wanting to FaceTime in, because I would say probably about half of my bridesmaids don't live in the area. And so some of them were wanting to FaceTime in, and then also Tyler's mom. And so what I decided to do is to make a plan for that in advance. And so basically what I did is I created a group text for both appointments, and then I assigned the people who were going to be there in person with a person who was wanting to FaceTime in, and then I made sure they had each other's numbers beforehand. So there was a plan going into it, and everybody knew, okay, when I get here, here's the person I'm FaceTiming.
FaceTiming people in.
Hey, she's in the fitting room, so I'll turn you around.
Hi,
Hey.
okay, so she's in the fitting room now trying on her first dress.
and I just wanted to set that up in advance so that it was less stressful while we were actually there. And then I also asked Anna to get some clips for this video beforehand. If you guys know Anna, she's my roommate and she also has her own YouTube channel, and she's seen me film a lot and knows sort of what kind of clips I like to get, and so she took the clips you're about to see. So I'll just go ahead and show you what she got. The first place is definitely what I would think of when I think of a wedding dress salon. It was just really beautiful. It was pretty big. They had a lot of dresses to choose from. They had champagne for us to toast with, and then plenty of room for everybody to sit and for me to come out on the little pedestal thing. And so I was really glad that the first salon was the first place we went to, because I feel like I really got that full experience and it was just really special. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you some of the dresses I tried on, and I'm going to mute the audio when necessary so you don't get any little tips that you shouldn't be getting yet that give away what my dress is gonna be. But here are some of the dresses I tried on at the first shop.
On me, I might like different.
Yeah, for sure.
So let me show you kind of my favorite.
Just wave in the mirror. All right, Roxanne, what kind of dress do you see Kaci in? You've no idea? Yeah, white is a good option.
Crazy.
I'm not good on what different, different styles are.
What did your dress look like?
My dress, my mother-in-law actually made my dress.
Oh man, that's so cool.
My mother-in-law made my little dress. She had buttons like that on the back.
That's totally good
And I had to cover every single. I did the buttons myself.
Oh my
So I
god.
covered them with the material.
Oh, that's so pretty. That is
Wow.
I like those sleeves.
So pretty.
All right, can you pull your mask down?
I know.
Yeah, I think even if I didn't end up with long sleeve
I know.
I would want
Wow, I like the bottom.
I like the bottom.
Ooh, it's sparkly.
Yeah.
So is it gonna stay on your shoulders?
It will. All the way on this shoulder, so it's like a half off the shoulder.
Yeah, I just think like it's kind of feel like I'm falling down. Even if it fits, it feels like I'm gonna.
Ooh.
That one's pretty too.
Ooh.
Oh, I like this one better than the other one.
Me too.
I love the butter.
Yeah, my fave
The
too.
outside.
Me and Kelly like this one.
I think like a train. Oh, hi Kelly.
Team
Is that Kelly?
Yeah, we switched.
Oh. Heather?
Oh yeah.
That's so pretty.
Not a good sign. I love the top. Oh my, I love that neckline.
The neckline's really pretty. I feel like I would
love
want-
that.
I like the neckline a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite neckline so far.
Yeah, I agree.
The neckline's my thing. I don't like the back.
It's the same flowers that are on that last one.
What?
Wow, that's crazy how they can look so different.
Figure out why I don't like this one. Whoa, good. Whoa, fun to try on.
Okay, that's a no. Yeah.
I literally can't put my hands down myself. Oh wow.
Wow.
I do like the.
I like the top half.
I like the fitted part.
I
think it's
a lot of dress.
I was gonna say, I think it's too sparkly.
It's too poofy. Yeah. And the sparkle's like a little blinding. It's like, whoa.
I'm not like married to them. So, like if I found something,
Funny.
honey.
I really like it.
I like that.
Oh.
That one's really pretty. Yeah. I
Yeah.
like this one.
I like this one a lot. Sorry.
That is pretty cute.
very surreal getting to try on wedding dresses for the very first time. I didn't cry, and I kind of didn't think that I would, but it was still just very special. And it was funny, my mom actually cried before we even went into the salon, just like walking up. I think she had that moment where it hit her and she was like, this is really happening and we've prayed for this day. One thing I realized in trying on dresses at the first place is that the fit makes a huge difference. There were some dresses that I thought I liked better, but in actuality it was just that that particular sample size maybe fit me better than some of the other ones, and there were some dresses that I thought I would really like but that I didn't really like on, and a lot of that was just because the dress didn't fit me very well. And I think it can be really hard to visualize whether or not you like a dress when the sample size doesn't fit you super well, just because I think that with a wedding dress, so much of it comes down to how you feel in the dress. Do you feel like you? Do you feel like a bride? Do you feel comfortable and beautiful in it? And so it can be kind of hard and throw it off a little bit if the dress doesn't fit you really well. And so something my friends kept reminding me of is that my dress, whichever dress I picked, was going to fit me well because it was going to be fit to me. And so I had to kind of keep that in mind and remember that and try to picture it when certain dresses didn't fit super well or other dresses fit better, even though I didn't really love the dress, if that makes sense. So that's just one little tip to keep in mind. And so I feel like I spent a majority of that first appointment trying to identify the shape of the dress I was looking for, because I was trying to describe it and then the consultant would bring something out and I was like, no, that's not exactly what I'm trying to describe. And then she would bring something else out and it just wasn't getting it. And I started to kind of question, is this actually a shape, or like, does this exist, or am I just not describing it well? But then finally, towards the end of the appointment, she brought one out that was exactly the shape I was looking for. This is not the dress I want, but the shape.
That shape is amazing.
You guys get it, what I was trying to say.
Yeah, we just need you to
Wait,
show
you
us.
guys really get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she said this is the least common one.
Yeah, that's fine. That's Kaci.
We're talking custom.
Yeah, seriously.
One thing I learned through that experience is that even though there's standard terms for different shapes, so you've got like ball gown or A-line or mermaid or trumpet or drop waist or whatever the shape may be, even though there's these standard terms, those same terms can mean different things to different people, or even different things at different salons or to different designers, which is, I think, what contributed toward the initial confusion and why I was trying to describe something but then what they were bringing out was different than what I was wanting. So like the actual shape that I ended up deciding on, they called one thing at the first salon I went to and then a different thing at the following 2 salons I ended up going to, which ended up making it make a lot more sense once we realized that. So anyways, once we figured out this shape that I was wanting at the first appointment, we realized that that particular salon didn't actually carry a ton of that shape. And so I pretty much realized that I wasn't going to find my dress there, but we still had a fun little moment where we cheersed to the shape that I decided on. Next up is the second store, and this is the one that I just randomly Googled and picked whichever one came up first that had an available appointment for that day. And to be honest with you, when we first walked up to it, we started looking up appointments for a third store just because we walked up and it looked super small. It was this like really small one-room studio in kind of like this hole in the wall tucked away place. And so as we walked up and waited for our appointment time, I just kind of didn't think there was going to be a lot to choose from there. But I was wrong, because that is where I ended up getting my dress. And so it's your typical case of don't judge a book by its cover. I will say though that I'm still glad that the first salon we went to was the first one we went to, just because I was able to get more of that experience there. And then the second one, even though it was smaller and there wasn't really room for us all to sit down, it had some hidden gems. And so I'm not going to show you any of the footage from that one, because the only footage we did get from that one was actually the dress that ended up sort of being my dress. So basically this salon was owned by a guy who actually designed all of the dresses in the salon. And so when we got there and I was able to explain to him, you know, the shape and the style and all of that I was looking for, he ended up putting me in this is gonna sound confusing without giving it away, but he ended up putting me in sort of like 2 dresses at once, and one kind of had a part of the dress that I was looking for and the other had the other part of the dress I was looking for, to help me visualize exactly what it was that I wanted. And the reason he did this is because he told me that he could basically custom design exactly what it was that I was looking for. And when he first said that, my first thought was, how much is that gonna be? Because that just sounded super bougie to me and I thought it was gonna be crazy expensive, but the price he gave us was actually right in line with basically all the other dresses we had been looking at and the budget that I had discussed with my parents. And so without giving too much away, I just really loved so many different elements of this dress, and it was kind of hard to picture it all complete with the changes that I wanted to make, but I also felt like this guy, this designer, was really understanding the changes that I was communicating to him. And so he actually took a picture of me in this dress and then would do like little sketches on his iPad to show me the changes that I was wanting. And so the more we talked about it and the more I saw sort of the little sketches he was adding on to it, the more I started to think, okay, I think this is going to be where I get my dress. But we had already scheduled a 3rd appointment when we had walked up to this shop and thought that it wasn't gonna work out. And so I decided to still go to the 3rd appointment and just make sure that I couldn't find something that already existed and didn't have to be sort of custom made that was what I was looking for. And also I had already been to this particular shop that we were gonna go to next because it was actually where my friend Kirsten, who's one of my matrons of honor, had gotten her dress. And so I knew they had like a large selection and that I would be able to try different things on. And so we took a little break to get some lunch and then ended up heading to the 3rd appointment again to just see if I could find what I was looking for non-custom, and then also just see what else they had. And so here's some clips from that place.
You can sit in the princess chair.
Did you want to have?
All right. So we'll start with there is not
That's gorgeous, Kaci.
It is so perfect.
It is.
And the
It really
best
is.
part about it is that this designer, from the designer.
Kaci, that's pretty.
That's really pretty.
So I didn't find anything I loved at the 3rd appointment, and my mind just kept going back to that dress at the 2nd appointment. But I decided I was going to take like a week or so just to research it online and see if I could find what it was I was looking for that again already existed without me having to customize it. And after doing a lot of research, I just wasn't finding anything that was exactly what I was looking for. And it felt a little bit nerve-wracking to go with this 2nd option where I was customizing a dress, because I knew that that meant that I was basically agreeing to a dress without actually seeing what it was going to look like with all these different changes coming together, because it was going to be basically designed from scratch, which is awesome, and it was a cool opportunity to make it exactly what I wanted it to be. But again, it was just nerve-wracking. But I think working with this guy and just seeing and feeling like he really understood the changes I was communicating and just what I wanted overall, I just felt like he got it and that that was going to be the best option for me. And so I ended up going back a couple weeks later with my mom and my sister-in-law, who actually hadn't been able to go the first time, so that was special to have her there. And we started the process. So basically he put me in sort of like the other 2 dresses again, and then he took my measurements and we talked through all the changes I wanted to make, and he drew up like a full-on sketch right there on the spot, which is really cool. And then we placed the order. So the dress is supposed to be ready about 2 months before our wedding, which will be time if we need to make like some small changes or tweaks or any of that kind of stuff. And then of course time for alterations. So I'm really excited to see it. It is still a little bit nerve-wracking, but mainly I'm just excited. And when I go back and look at pictures of what he had me try on the first time, I just get so excited every time I see it. So after the wedding, once you can actually see what my dress looks like, maybe I can do a video just sharing what the process has been like of doing a custom dress and show you some of those sketches and just pictures of what it's looked like along the way. So let me know if you would like to see something like that after the wedding. And then also let me know down in a comment below what style dress you think that I picked. I hope you've been enjoying these wedding planning videos, and I hope you enjoyed this video of me getting to try on wedding dresses. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and then also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you back here in my next video. Bye.